Welcome back to Breaking the Cycle with Simply Ann. I'm your host, Simply Ann, and tonight we are having a very necessary conversation, an honest conversation. Tonight we're gonna have again in the studio with us Dr. Louis Jeffrey, a gynecologist, and this is part three. I'm quite sure if you saw last week and the week before, and you realize where we're going with this, a conversation with a doctor, someone that knows all of how human function in the medical field, and also viewing it based on biblical principles. And tonight we're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about many issues that we all in this small community have, the pressures in our home, and the inconsistency within the family. And one of the areas that continue to surface in the role of what is lacking is men in the family and within the community. There is a generation of young men, we are seeing it every day, growing up without clear direction, without strong examples, and without a full understanding of who they are and what they are called to be and what they're supposed to be doing. And at the same time, many men are facing distraction, pressures, and influence that pull them away from their responsibility as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as an uncle. And when identity is unclear, the decisions become unstable. Relationships suffer, family struggles, and the community is affected. So tonight, help me welcome Dr. Jeffrey again in the studio as we talk about restoring identity, the responsibility, and the purpose of men right now that is critical in our home and in our community. Dr. Jeffrey, I spoke a lot there. How are you doing? Welcome.
Doing great, great tonight. Thank you. How are
Thank you.
you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having you again, for saying yes, for coming for part one, part two, and part three.
Yeah.
Part one, we spoke about the trauma and how our body responds. And part two, we spoke about sleeping, the rest,
Yes.
the importance of rest. And tonight we are talking about men, the role of men within the family.
Yeah.
So we can go right into it. Dr. Jeffrey, based on your observation, what are the biggest challenges that we are facing today in understanding the role and identity of men? Why men have a challenge understanding the role, or even understanding that they have a role?
Yes. Yeah, definitely what we're seeing is that is a generational problem.
Hmm.
We have seen that before the 1960s, it was pretty much very clear.
Okay,
The man was working, of course, we know, and the woman was a good housewife.
that's right.
It was clear. Um, and of course, with what we call the sexual revolution in the 1970s, we're seeing that men have some issues and problem coping with those situations where uh, women were just saying, "Hey, listen, I am even sometimes more capable than you
To provide, yeah.
to provide and to be and really to be honest, to do a good job, even in a field that was assuming
This is coming from a man,
yeah,
yeah.
but that's what that was the case. What I'm seeing in my own perspective is that right now in the medical field we have a shift. Women are now
The doctors.
doctors. They are more than 50% of the doctors.
Wow,
So,
wow.
even the profession, the healthcare profession of doctors. I don't even talk about the nurse who was already far. It was nurses was mostly women,
Women, yeah.
but now doctors are mostly women
Women.
now. So it's changing all the
Wow.
way in. And I think it's interesting to see that it will change also our way to to actually do our work as medical doctors. We're seeing the medical field and how we address to the population. So definitely is
Mhm.
interesting. On the other side, we have seen also that women are performing better when we talk about uh, academic achievements.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's clear now.
Wow.
We have,
Wow.
yes, we've seen it. And you can see it, they are more focused, they're more serious. We know about that. But of course, men have um, definitely some difficulties finding their way and say, oh, women are taking more space. how should I react? How should I be a man?
A man, yeah, yeah.
And so we see now in the medias some men who adopt this kind of attitude of very hyper testosterone men who trying to tell me we need to be men just like before, and we need to act in a way that women could understand that we are
The
the
man.
man.
Yeah,
Okay, so we know about this concept. So between that, we're seeing that men are getting very fragile now because of the same reason why in the 1960s we have this situation is that we have a lot of monoparental single women
that's right.
raising
The children, yeah,
the children. That's make a huge difference
yeah,
because when there's no when you're a single woman in a society that promotes also um, this kind of selfishness of I can do it myself, you find women raising children, and including young boys,
yeah,
in an environment where there's no grandparents at all, no male figure.
yeah,
The combination of those two is very detrimental for the building of a man
yeah.
your
Identity, yeah.
identity. So when you see that you're trying to say, oh, where can they find uh, a reference? And definitely
It's
going
not, yeah,
to media.
yeah,
And what you're seeing in media,
yeah,
pornography, more or less, and also this aspect of this, again, hyperbolic man who is saving the world. This kind of Bruce Willis kind of way,
yeah.
or even, there's this Clint
Well,
Eastwood way, the lone man,
yeah.
and so you're seeing something, you say, oh, maybe
That is how a
that
man should be.
should be. And this, women seeing a man
Mm,
how they should be. And this new generation is actually facing with in the music industry this way of seeing men as mostly have women
mm,
as tools, objects, and they providing, they have the money, they are lavishly, organizing like this is what they portray on internet and
yeah,
on clips and video clips, and they said, yeah, that's the way it is, and
mm,
apparently women love it.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So, okay, I just need a little bit of cash
yeah.
and
A
maybe
vehicle,
a red Ferrari or another car, and that would be enough.
yeah.
So that's where we
Mm,
spend this
mm,
time. But women wants right away, and is where it's difficult. So I can assume that all of that's creating this gap between what we see on media and what is the reality of a home,
yeah,
which is a different place.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
That we want to create. So for me, if really we think about men, that's how they could find their way in this. We do not have so much of references,
The
and
role model type.
those role models is difficult. If you have good friends, if you're 14 and 12, people that succeed in their life, because I always say, if you have no one around you, find someone who succeed
Mm-hmm.
and what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So you say, okay, I don't have a friend. But I see this guy. That's what I want to be. He
Mm-hmm.
have, he is 50, 60, and I want to be a man like that. I have a beautiful family,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that his history is talking for him. So maybe I should ask him. I should get
How
close
do I
to him.
do this? Yeah.
That's the best way. It's easiest way. Other ways to say, you know what? As we are Caribbean, we have a very spiritual and very God-oriented culture. Okay, what is the Bible saying about being a man?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because maybe I could find there um, uh, maybe to help me see, okay,
Yeah,
how I should act.
yeah.
So I assume that this is the way young men think, but don't look at someone that is very young in age and can imagine is doing. We need to find people with experience that can actually tell you, okay, this looks good, but it's not
Might not
ultimately
be. Yeah.
a good thing. So that is the strategy where young men should also say, okay, what I want to achieve in life. all men want to have a beautiful life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but sometimes they just imagine that never they could achieve that because no one in the environment
Have
was.
achieved that.
You say, okay, my own mother, she was a single mother. That made my dad was not there. If he was not there, that means it was not important for him to be there.
Yeah.
Because look at me, I'm a bad man.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't die, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I don't really need to be there either. And maybe it's not important. So men try to grow with a low self-esteem when they try to find in a woman a way to, you know, to enforce this self-esteem that they don't have. And is where this kind of a macho attitude come in when you try to look mannish, like this bird, they want to look really different, and but inside is definitely empty. So my suggestion right now would be to say, um, uh, definitely if we're looking at the standards and the way the society is, um, if you look at, for example, when you talk in the Bible, like we said, and say, okay, um, I think that, well, I need to look at it. If I'm supposed to be a man in the image of God, what is God then?
Yeah.
So people that are looking at it say, okay, he's a father. Yeah. It's when you call our father,
Mm-hmm.
imagine what it is to be a father.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because, and when you see the characteristic of a
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
And in the Bible, the father said, I'm a jealous God.
Mm-hmm.
Jealous. Hmm. What does it mean to be jealous?
Mm-hmm.
I remember a young man who was asking me, how come God can be jealous? So this is a way to tell, I told him, well, it was not the jealousy of the way you're seeing it.
See
It's
the
kind of
wall. Yeah.
exclusivity and the relationship and a reciprocal way of seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when you talk about jealous, you definitely think about property. What is yours?
It's my own and
What
alone.
alone? And what is yours? And I think from an early age, uh, boy, like girls should know what is theirs. Because at the end of the day, you need to know if I can touch this or if I cannot. The first thing in life, uh, don't go in the fridge. It is not yours.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's different
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
as parents when you try to educate children to know not only limits, but also responsibilities.
Yeah.
This is not yours.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. If you want something, ask
Ask for it.
before.
Yeah.
All of that is so important because when you're growing as a boy and you think about maybe have a woman and then have a spouse, somebody, a partner in life, you need to know, do I want to have someone that is sharing with me, or do I'm looking for other stuffs? So,
Yeah.
okay, we need to think about that in a way that when you learn to someone what is property, you
Mm.
learn a lot. What is sacred? What is belongs to you and only to you. This core value is more than anything else.
Yeah. It's
You
powerful.
see what I mean? When you said, okay, this is belongs to you, okay? You have this dog is yours.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take care of him, you need to but
Feed them.
feed him. But this that is not yours, so you don't shit. It's kind of about respect. We talk about respect. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about what is something that you earn because you work for it, and something that you don't have because it's not yours, so don't touch it. And so much a man sometimes don't understand. Yeah, I want this girl, but who is she for? She's not yours. Be careful.
Mm-hmm.
So this way of thinking about respecting something that was not ultimately yours and that was was not even given to you,
Yeah.
you need to be very careful. So this is what getting in children mind. So I'm saying first thing to the parents, always teach, especially to boys, what is yours and what is not yours, what is your property, what is not yours. So then they can learn to respect themselves and respect others.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to do with sexuality is to do with the sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we take it for granted. You know what is not important? The most important thing. And sometimes you don't see the difference between touching something in a fridge And want to touch a fruit is not your
It's
property.
very important.
For men, uh, simply we firstly need to know, okay, you know, that when you want when you raise a child, the man figure, someone who can fix the limits, is important as a man. Your role is to put boundaries.
Hmm.
And that sometimes men don't understand this. You need to set boundaries around what is yours.
Yeah.
You need to be protective.
Hmm.
You need to make that whatever you have can be uh, nurtured, also can grow.
Yeah.
This is the first mission, And
Of a man.
when we're taking the Bible and we're taking the first text in the Bible, we're taking it from we don't really read it properly. But when God had him in a garden,
Mhm.
Adam didn't find a garden, but put him there. And Adam in the garden uh, was carved a side of himself, what we call a rib, but the Hebrew translation is not the same. It says he take up the side
Hmm.
and he close it off. That means he making fragile. He making uneven for him to be able to receive.
Eve.
Okay, so why is that so important? Is because before having a woman engage in a gender kind of attitude,
Hmm.
man, woman, you need to think that you must feel incomplete. If you feel complete, there's a problem.
Yeah.
This is
You
where we
won't
have
value it.
issues. So you don't value it. So God is creating you in a way that you can feel incomplete. You are not perfect. You are incomplete. And
Hmm.
as you feel now that you need this completion, which is coming in, then you are ready not to find a woman, but to receive one. And that's what made the difference when you read in the Bible when God brings Eve
Eve to Adam.
to Adam. The man was, it didn't tell Adam that, no, Adam, you know what? Go and find a woman somewhere.
Hmm.
You're going to find her somewhere. No, no. Think about it. All this pattern, when I spoke to you about it the other day, was that when you see with Abraham, you see with all those
Jacob,
examples and
all of them,
all of
yeah,
the example, you know what?
was
Was
brought.
brought. They was instituted as king of their environment that was given to them. They didn't deserve it, what you call grace in
Yeah.
general. And you say, okay, now you have a rule, you have management rules, you have
Hmm.
things to do, and then I grant you.
So why?
This is crucial because it actually make you think that okay, I am not the owner of it. I'm the caretaker of it
To manage it,
to
yeah.
manage it. I am the king of this, but the king who have responsibility to
Manage.
manage, protect, nurture, you know,
So it can grow.
children rule. When you look at it at this point, you can say, oh, it's shifting everything that we know about what a man should be. A man is not someone that is keep on running against
Searching, yeah.
searching all day long. Uh, Also, it brings us to the reality that a man should be the one that is conscious of what he have, name things. Remember, the man was there to name
Hmm.
the animals. He need to know his environment
Hmm.
and just have the wisdom.
Yeah.
And when you understand this, men are choosing a woman, which is not always the case because she's coming to him. But he didn't choose her at the first place. He should say, okay, now everything that I have to do is to be able to uh, be grateful
Hmm.
and to to actually uh, make it to multiply. And this is where women comes in because the ultimate multiplicator factor is women.
It's women, yes. The women are the ones that,
They are multiplying everything. We've already about this. So when and even the Bible, so much time we men think about women, okay, they should be at home,
Yeah.
which is not what really the text is saying.
No.
Women are business women. They are nurturing, they're taking care of people. They are HR manager,
Mhm.
they are investors. This is exactly in the Bible how it is written. Who can find a woman? What is written there shows you how value a woman is in the home, that means in a family environment, in the role of a man as someone of his role, of course, is being able to always be wise,
Hmm.
always be able to keep all his mental ability intact, to be able to judge, protect, and to be able to be the voice of those who are voiceless.
Wow.
This is what is important because when you're working and when you read a text, it's telling you that you men need to be that. So if someone is always there to um, who is not fearful, who is always there to defend those who don't have. Now we're talking about a man.
Yeah.
We're talking about someone
Yeah.
that understands what is the core value, what is.
Yeah.
Now, simply, and when we look at men, and I know a lot, who succeed in their life, the narrative is most of the time
Very
very important. It's
close to
always
me.
close to that. You
Mm.
see that a lot of men say, okay, you know what? I know who is, I have this, I understand how important the grace that I have to be granted with such a woman. This attitude is so important because this
Yeah.
creates
Wow.
respect and uh,
Gratitude.
and gratitude, gratitude. And don't think, okay, I run for it. No, I
Earn
got
it.
yes, I went for it, so now it belongs to me. It's different.
Yeah.
This aspect. So when we see men in our society, I can see them in consultation when they're coming with their wives, sometimes with fertility problem. I want to let you know that I'm seeing men and women. You're seeing that um, men changing. Of course, after puberty, like everyone, there's a time where a man start to be somebody, a different person. When his wife expect a child. So what he's saying is, I remember when was saying when I met the one who would become my wife, I feel that I was somebody else. When she was expecting our baby, I knew
You change to someone else.
this is somebody else. Yes, because he his look, his focus was shifting from him to something else. That is make a real man. When you focus
A real man
a real man, it is not when your focus is changing from what you are to what you
was
must
given to
were
you.
given to you and in raising for the future. It's so incredible. This is what we need, and I think is what the environment is for men to be able to really have talk to young men. Our society is very much difficult because men are not talking so much.
Yeah.
I, I know that women have ability to talk even much more than men. This is normal. Also part of the way women coping with stress. Women coping with stress
They
by
talk.
relating, and men have a different attitude. Men are mostly in the action, talk less. Women are mostly talking a little bit more and complement each other.
Yeah.
And it's important, especially when you need to deal with stress factors. But when you look at it in a man point of view, if you want to build a strong and understand that women have their view, they are looking for the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes when I say, oh, this woman is very materialistic, she looking for yes my money.
Hmm.
But still, maybe you don't really understand what is to know that man is woman looking for a real man who could not provide uh, only cars or things, but who could be independent, who is not under control.
Yeah.
And by being a king, you are not under control.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are the one that's standing. And this is what sometimes men need to understand. It's good to have dialogue with families. But really simply, and what is the topic about it makes that when you talk with young men about self-esteem first, when you talk to them about the way they seeing their future, the way they see women, the way they, what is affection, what is love.
Yeah.
Men, the problem we have with men is that they don't know what is love.
No.
And love,
Mix it up.
they mix it up. Or when you see that the concept of affection and love is related, and when you read it in the Bible, is the Hebrew word for love, and especially this kind of ahava, this word means giving. It's not about feeling. It's
What you
something
can
that
give.
is giving. And once a young man tell me, "Oh, okay, so when I was giving up my time with this woman, that mean I love her." Yes. Oh, that is love then. I tell him, "Yes, feeling is something, of course, it
It
can
goes,
change.
it comes.
But when you always have this giving attitude, giving your time, giving what you have, giving what you are, you know
That's
that
it.
you are loving. You say, oh, so you see, so everything is not only about what we call feeling, the spirit of giving
Mm-hmm.
and things giving.
Mm-hmm.
That's make the difference in my life. And I think that's in what they need to do. I was very happy to have the discussion with those men who didn't understand. Oh, so now I know that I love. They,
Yeah.
because the society make it so blurry.
Yeah. And also the I was talking to a gentleman a few months ago, and he was saying simply, and especially in marriage and women and men, when we talk about love, when you will know that he loves you and or she loves him is when we put each other first.
First, yes,
So it's not about what I want, what I desire, my
yes,
feelings, how and stuff like that. What will satisfy him?
yeah,
What will make him happy? What does make him
happy,
angry?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Is that
shift from
we
you to
shift,
the
and that is love.
person first.
If onto,
First, yeah.
because so God loved the
Love,
whole
yes,
that he,
to give. You see, so this same thing about giving is so important. And I think that this definition suits very much for those men who don't know about really about feelings at the first place. Say, well, what it is really, men have to some kind of attitude. But really having this giving way and see that you want to, this kind of self-sacrifice,
oh yeah, I was just going to say something like that. Yeah, yeah,
this kind of self-sacrifice when you say, you know what, I feel incomplete. But I feel so good by being complete with you that I can give you all because by
yeah,
giving you all, I have everything. So this kind of,
yeah, yeah.
this kind of, yeah. So
So that's why it's important to find that right partner.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
to be able to recognize that
yeah,
correct partner, because you can be giving, but if you need to know, the man needs to know when a good woman is in front of them,
yes,
how to recognize that. But I want to switch the conversation a little bit, and this is to help young people because I talk to a lot of young men out there, both behind bars, in the community, and their focus is sex.
yeah,
Yeah, the satisfaction of sex, and seeing women as just the object that can help them release,
mhm,
and not looking at woman as the helpmate,
mhm,
someone that will be able to help them. So how can we advise a young man out there, and actually not only young man, because even adults, we see that there's still men in the 40s, in the 50s, 60s, still trying to find themselves and looking at women only as a sex
mhm,
object,
mhm,
but not as someone that they can unite in marriage
mhm.
and build something beautiful. How can we advise someone out there? Because God established that institution that man, as you find, when you receive that woman and all your decision making, all what you have to give is to be able to join with this one person and build a beautiful future.
Yeah, yeah. What we're seeing as the root of these problems sometimes is a problem in self-esteem.
Mm,
Men that always look at women as object is because they have this lack of self-esteem. They just want to build up their own self.
Yeah. And sex is a way of
Yes,
doing that.
yes. Even though we don't see it like that in the first place. Sex is a way just to say, okay, um, I I have value, not you have value.
Wow.
I want to create value for myself.
Hmm.
Because often men have this problem. And when you see that, that's why I'm always saying to parents, be careful and and raising your children with a, a sound, healthy self-esteem. You need to always think to value them. You have value. You have so much of value that you can bring value to others and not waiting
Yeah.
for them to give you to
Yeah.
give you
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
This is first of all a mind. Yes, is a mind a mindset. When uh, a man is saying, okay, okay, I need, or I want this kind of instant gratification. What is about that we find in sex? This instant gratification is mostly due to the fact that men have sometimes, and from childhood, a difficulty to to distance themselves from what they wanted, from the desire. From an
Okay.
early age, you need to know how to wait, and you need, yes, and to know that when what you want, really, what is really what your ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And when you look at them and say, okay, I this woman, okay, this I this is it can create to me. Did I really have feelings for her, or do I want best interest? When you have a good self-esteem, you're looking for other self-interest. When you're trustworthy and you have confidence in yourself, you're always looking for the best of others,
Yes.
not your best,
That's right.
because you're already fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you keep on looking to fulfill your desire in somebody else, you begin to be toxic. And that's a problem. That's why we need to raise our children in a way that they can feel whole.
Wow.
They can need to feel whole. They need to feel that they have things to
Yeah.
bring to give, or things they have to give to others. And this kind of way of having this attitude of sharing, producing, and giving, this is what creating the difference. With someone who say, hey, you know what? I see the goal. I want to have from her, or I want to give her something. This is different. It's just a different of mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And and then they could really, when you see that they never were able to really see it like this, you say, oh, I was selfish then. I wanted it for myself, but how
Yeah.
was it? So if you have this message to say to your young man, you are valued, you are valued, also um you have not only a potential, but you are able to be the king of your of
Domain.
yes, and or your queen in this environment that God has given you to deal with. And if you are doing the good way, if you keep your mind sound, avoid any addiction, because remember, the same process that happens when a man say, oh, looking for sex, is the same problem with addiction. You want. Keep
Always looking to
looking
satisfy
to satisfy
yourself.
yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
So this seed of addiction should be, rooted from the beginning
Yeah.
at women, at young men,
Yeah.
for them to understand that life is giving. And you need to learn to delay instant gratification. You need to learn to help things prosper. You
Yeah.
need to grow things. And then in a society where we don't grow nothing, where you know, it's fast. We are the 5G right now. See, we are going very fast. Something we want right now. If parents are not giving those boundaries, it will be difficult for the kids
To
to
grow in a
to grow.
proper,
So
healthy
that's what I'm saying. When a
esteem
young
self.
man at this age, 18, 19, 20, with what we call someone a womanizer, somebody who's is because
Mm.
this instant gratification is not only for women. It's on alcohol,
Yeah.
it's on smoking.
It can be any addiction. Yeah.
And so it's starting with the way you can this man need counseling. He need actually to understand who he is and the value that he have. He is.
That
and
he
not
can
what
give.
what he can give and what he possess. You know, when I was a young child, and I should give you this experience, it's really, really marked my brain. I was in a family in Martinique. My mother was always buying me good shirts with the little mark on it, with the cross, and I was loving to play tennis, to having the shirts like tahini and other things. And one day, this woman where I was, when she told me, "What is tahini is you?"
Oh,
I
wow.
said, "No, tahini is the one." Oh, so you are someone else then? I said, "No, but it's look nice." Oh, so it's tahini was giving you your value. You know, I was listening. I was 12, and, and she told me, okay, so this is
What you
what
wear
giving
is giving
you
value. Yeah.
your value. And she said, I think you should think about it twice. From that day, I never wore a shirt with mark somebody else on me.
Yeah.
And this is simple because when you have a child, you say, oh, that's a Nike, and that's a Reebok, and that's this children are raised in a way that they are no value. What
Yeah.
is value?
Having that gives me value.
And you see where it's starting?
Yeah.
It's starting, and this is what you are giving you value. It's
Yeah.
not what
Wear.
what you wear or what you have. And from this point, when I was young, I said, okay. And I started to say to my brother, I don't want
No Lacoste, no
those
nothing.
branding on me no more because I was feeling that I was wearing somebody else shirt
To
and not
give me
me.
value. That's very deep.
And it was simple, if you can imagine. But every every time we have the opportunity to value our children when they are 12, 13 years old, give them a purpose in life, responsibilities,
Mhm.
we actually are helping them become responsible men. And this is what is crucial. And women, after that, the aspect, the what we call their sexuality, the way they relate to a woman, or of the way they in their marital life will be affected by this childhood. So
Yeah.
really, what I can really simply, I can really say to to parents, but also to young men,
Hmm.
you are
Yeah.
of
A lot of value.
value in yourself. What you are there is to give, says and you will receive the benefits.
That's right. Dr. Jeffrey, and as you're talking there, men, so definitely we can now understand why certain men behave in certain way
Mhm.
in just achieving more car, achieving more wealth,
Yeah.
and looking for the
External,
external
yes.
stuff to satisfy what is happening internal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's now, will create now another cycle, and that's why the show is called Breaking the Cycle. The way that they engage with the family, being present or not present,
Mhm.
now the cycle will pass on
On,
to
yeah.
the children that they're raising, that they will think that, having stuff, including grades.
Mhm.
We can take it even to the level that, if I have good grades, then I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
Having low grades, I am
I am not,
nobody. I'm
yes,
no
I'm not
good.
good. Mhm.
Failing in maths and stuff like that. So, as parents, we have a lot of work to do because we can help shape the next young boy growing
Yep,
up.
yep, yep. And I can see, and you know what is, well, I was listening to you on this. Remember when you are, imagine a young boy with 3, 4 years old and his father is not home.
Yeah.
And you may in a meeting or anywhere, and it's maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. You have two way of thinking. Oh, my son may be waiting for me. I need to be home for his story time or to discuss with him. Or you can say, well, I have no importance. You will not see about it. Let me stay. You see the difference?
Oh,
See the difference in the self-esteem of the father,
know
where he can
himself.
know himself, say, oh, I can bring him something that he will value,
Yeah.
or in no sense, he will not even, he won't even recall, he will not even remind it. Then from there, you see childhood without fathers, because fathers don't value the time and the presence that they have.
Time. Yeah.
You see, and that is the father presence that is more subtle. And the mother, because the mother, of course, is different, is the nurturing body, the presence of the father. If the father says, you know what, it makes no sense. There's no value.
Yeah, mom is there
Mom is
already.
there already. This
Oh,
was only this kind of mind show you the way you esteem your presence. And if you really esteem, if you really think about yourself as somebody important, you say, my father
children,
also
yes.
need
My wife, my children
me.
need my presence. It is valuable.
You see, only this, and if you should remember only this point is remember you have a great value. I know that those things are so much not in the mainstream right now, but the value that you have as a man, as a voice, as as a stature, this what shift your your voice.
Your voice. Yeah,
Yes, the
the voice in the
voice.
home
The
and the
voice.
voice that now shape and lead,
And yes,
protect and
protect.
guide the family,
Mhm.
create the next generation. So what we're talking about tonight is men understanding the value, the presence of being there.
Mhm.
Maybe you don't, and you don't have to be the highest educated,
Yeah,
the
no,
most, the one that,
it's not what giving you a value by
yeah,
then.
exactly. Because oftentimes the men see the comparison between maybe the wife or the woman or the girlfriend is the highest, has the highest income and feel the value and
Yes,
stuff like that. But
100%.
we were talking about patterns here. We're talking about cycles that we should break it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Dr. Jeffrey,
Presence.
as we close
Mhm.
tonight, how can men break this cycle of what we're seeing? No fatherhood, no men in the home, or even being in the home, but neglecting their own presence to the family. How can men break this narrative that we're seeing, this the cycles of men not being men, being present?
I think that there's a time in life where really men question themselves about that. It's mostly around 25, 26, 28, when they start to think about having a family or they start to have, let's say, stable relationship with a woman and they don't understand really.
Yeah, yeah,
They say,
yeah.
why is she like that? Like, it's like if she only looking for my money or if she, all those kind of narrative that you can have is, and I want to say to those men very much, remember, beware of your environment.
Mm,
Think about having an environment with the generation that you want to look like.
wow.
Think about, okay, of course, there's a lot of different kind of environment, associations, we have a lot of male figures, but we have some of them. Think about it, and of course, if you have those core values and if you can talk to those men, it's important for you to listen how they were able to achieve this. I
Yes,
have said it previously. Second, um, professional. There are professionals for that. For everything right now, you need to know that women are very specific. They are unique in the way they are not like us. Definitely. We have a 1 day hormonal cycle. They have a 28 days hormonal cycle. So we're totally different. But we are going to be together and grow
yes,
together.
yeah.
Um, Loneliness is not an option. A lot of men say, oh, but I'm good all by myself. This is a new kind of society. This is totally wrong. But all by myself, mindset, creating much more problem than
To the
solutions.
society, yeah.
And it's actually reducing your lifespan
Wow.
of 10 years. Example. Men think that they can do everything and they don't need, they can go from there to there and not invest in a good family life. 10 years less at the end. From, from
It's
85
very
to
important.
75. Simple. You create addiction, you create all kind of things. You have no one to look at you.
Hold you
From the other
accountable.
perspective, you're accountable. Difficult. So you need to think that you are not whole. A man need to create
Yeah.
bonds and create family. And create a family is creating wealth.
Yes,
The
yeah.
first wealth is to create a family.
Family, yeah. Yeah.
So men who want to succeed in life need to know that the first investment is in a family.
Wow. Wow.
So the end, when we say, okay, maybe that's right. Have a sound environment. I think there's a lot of, as you said, right now, counselors, a lot of people that,
Find somebody.
yes, buddy. Most of this, I would say, people that God's fearing.
Yes,
This is,
absolutely.
I'm telling you, is the best way.
Yeah,
Fine,
yeah,
and
yeah,
because you can see that they have all the same patterns. Humility, put your spouse first,
yeah,
and patience,
yeah.
compassionate. Those are the values that you will not find on internet.
That's right. That's
And
right. That's right.
so simply, and I think men are, yes, those who really want, they could do it. And I think, well, that's the reason why you have those kind of
Sure.
TV shows. And,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Jeffrey, again for
Thank
your
you very
yes,
much.
for
Simply.
imparting and giving this great knowledge. Share this with someone. Share it with a young man. Share it with your husband, friends, and uncle. It's very important that men step up and be the role model and be the king in the household. Thank you for watching Breaking the Cycle with Simply Ann. Until next time, keep on standing and keep on breaking the cycle.